Hey, you guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com. I hope you're doing well. Thought it'd be fun today to look at the new ChatGPT 5.0 was released. Today's August the 7th, and it has just been released. And, you know, I've always wondered when a new release comes out, how it would compare to the old release. And so I did this something real quick. I want to show you guys. Let me get into the right spot. Here we go, and share my screen. Am I out of the way? Maybe I'll make myself a little smaller. Stay out of the way. Okay, so this is 4.0. So this is the now today old version of ChatGPT. We're going to look at the new one. But I just wanted to see how it would handle the same exact question if asked on the two versions. So I asked it to tell me about WeBuyHouses.com. And it says, here's a logo and visuals. It gives a little, what is We Buy Houses? Not to be mistaken with We Buy Ugly Houses. It attributes it to Jeremy Brandt. And it said in 1997, which is actually when Jeremy Brandt, and I think this brand got started, but we actually bought it in 2012. But it's given us credit all the way back to the beginning, which is great. How it works, service area. This is all stuff it's getting from the website pretty much. It's a bunch of different kinds of websites here to create the pros and cons list. It says we have pretty good rating, 4.7 out of 5 across platforms. Kind of a lower rating on BBB that it mentions, but then it says something I think is fascinating. Some customers report undesirable experiences. This is what gets reported. Spam or communication issues. People complain about getting We Buy Houses postcards or whatever. But notice this, it says, though these are sometimes attributed to imitators using similar names. Almost always. When someone calls us and complains about getting a postcard or something, and we ask them where they are, who they are, address or whatever, it's not us, it was somebody else. And so it's just silly, you know. But they see We Buy Houses, they go onto the internet and they find WeBuyHouses.com. So it kind of tells you that when people are looking for who We Buy Houses is, it's WeBuyHouses.com. I did like the closing on 4.0. It says it's a credible option for those needing a quick and hassle-free sale. And you know, it's kind of marketing-ish. Just be aware, convenience comes at a cost, significantly less than market. So it's realistic. It's a pretty good advice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump over and look at how the new 5.0 answers the same exact question. And one thing you'll notice is it's not just that the formatting is different. It's chosen to highlight different information, types of information. It chose a different, now here it just went and got the logo, which I think, and it described the logo, which I think is better than the other one. And as it comes into it, it also, I think, put the answer into a better outline format or overview. What is it? Very similar, but written a little bit different. As you can see, it also has tied the corporate name associated with Jeremy to the .com. You know, WeBuyHouses.com is WBH Marketing Inc., or at least the corporate entity. How it works looks pretty similar, but it's a little bit more built out. Sometimes even a remote property review. This is something we did during COVID, but you know, they read all our articles and stuff. The offers typically 50 to 70% of, I hate the way they say it's fair market value. It's not a fair market value. It's an after repaired value. But, you know, people, I don't know, they don't understand that. Now, I do think this was interesting. Now look at the credibility here versus the 4.0 version. BBB accreditation, the main corporate entity is accredited with an A+ rating. Many local operators may not be accredited. So that makes sense. There have been complaints here, again, often regarding unwanted marketing communications. While some are addressed, others remain unresolved, but whatever. similar type of pros and cons. This time now in 5.0, they pulled in, probably the crappiest content on the internet, which is insights from Reddit users. Yes, let's see what they have to think. Because people always go into Reddit when they've had a great experience with a company. Is that right? And they say, oh, they're so wonderful. That is not the case. They go into Reddit to complain. And so they offered me 83. Later it sold for 140. They offered me at least 120 to 150K under market value. Yeah, basically Reddit users. I'll just leave it at that. But 5.0 thinks Reddit might have some insights to offer. Is it right for you? I do think this is a little more dialed in to advice versus marketing spin. Now, it was interesting. I just wanted to show you this, just kind of a little tangent I went off on, is that up in here, where was it? Oh, yeah. It says, but if maximizing equity is your goal, using traditional listings or platforms like Houzeo may yield better results. Now, actually, I don't think that's necessarily an inaccurate statement because it says platforms like Houzeo. But, and the question I asked was a little loaded on my part because the reason I asked this question is it's always mentioning this Houzeo. And I don't know, guys. I may have heard of Houzeo. I've never looked at Houzeo. I don't know anything about Houzeo. And so, like I said, my question here is really based on the fact that I've seen ChatGPT mention Houzeo a lot in these responses. And so I wanted to know why, because this is the important part. Houzeo doesn't buy houses. As you saw, it's a platform. I mean, even ChatGPT knew that. I've been in this business for years. I've never heard of Houzeo. This is me talking. I'm curious what Houzeo has done to get ChatGPT to give it so much weight in the responses. Houzeo is not a competitor of We Buy Houses. It's an app. Comparing the two is apples and oranges. Why does ChatGPT mention Houzeo as a competitor to an actual home buyer? And why does Houzeo rank so well in the ChatGPT search? I feel like I'm now looking at it, it's a little critical because I don't necessarily know that it was saying it was a direct competitor, more of an alternative. But still, I think it was interesting to see, and you'll see the thing that makes me far more interested in this response is why does Houzeo rank or show up in ChatGPT? So the answer to my why mention Houzeo thing is you've hit on a sharp and important point. Houzeo is not a direct competitor. They serve fundamentally different segments of the real estate market, and that may be kind of the complaint I have about ChatGPT is why are you always mentioning when you mention us or you mention We Buy Ugly Houses, which we're similar, then you throw in Houzeo and whatever. What was the other one? I can't remember it right now, but it went kind of over the top to tell me that WeBuyHouses.com and Houzeo are not the same thing. It made a chart, but I thought this really hit at what I was getting at, is that We Buy Houses is a national network of professional investors. Houzeo is a for sale by owner flat fee MLS listing platform. We are very different, although I guess you could say we're targeting the same ultimate goal, which is you want to sell your house. But here again, target seller, distressed, inherited, unweighted homes. Over here, retail sellers looking to save on commissions by listing themselves. And so that is not, maybe their response would have been better if it had actually positioned, there are alternatives to selling your house for cash, such as for sale by owner. That I think would have made sense. But it's just bothered me that they just throw Houzeo out. Oh, you could do WeBuyHouses.com or you could do Houzeo, not quite the comparison. But this is what is much more interesting to me. Why does ChatGPT mention Houzeo so often? And it says, and I didn't expect this, it wasn't due to promotion, favoritism, business relationship, or anything like that. It's a byproduct of their intense SEO. Houzeo publishes a large volume of keyword saturated comparison style content, like top 10 We Buy Houses company, best cash buyers in X city. So it's got they're very good at SEO. Let's just say it. And they produce a lot of content, and it's that's how they pull people into engage with their app. Answer composition. When ChatGPT pulls from web-based tools, it samples pages that are high ranking and content rich. And so again, they are coming up as content rich and structured to be digestible, list based, written in a way that search engines favor. So this is probably the most important thing that I got out of this whole little thing was, getting a better idea of why ChatGPT is doing what it's doing. This I thought was really interesting. It says perceived capability, comparability. Although not truly comparable, Houzeo gets mentioned alongside cash buyers because both are marked as alternative selling methods to traditional real estate agents. ChatGPT has never told me this. This is how we got bucketed, and I do agree with it. We are an alternative, and you know what? Houzeo is too. That's where the apples and oranges comparisons creep in. The algorithm groups them under non-traditional sale options. And so this is the first time I've gotten ChatGPT to tell me, why did you do that? Why did you show my competitor? Why? Because before it would it would give a few things, but it wouldn't tell me kind of how it was bucketing things. You're right to call out that in the real world, a homeowner considering a fast cash sale to We Buy Houses is not likely to consider a tech app like Houzeo as an alternative. That may be true. I feel like I was a little hard on it now, but the motivations and seller profiles are completely different. And I think that was kind of what I was reacting to. Most motivated sellers want speed and simplicity, not DIY listing software. So, man, at the end, this is kind of why I've often said, I think ChatGPT tells us things that we want to hear. And once it heard that I was upset about shit, including Houzeo, it went way off on the deep end of, you're right, man, Houzeo's not a good match at all. I shouldn't have said it. And it makes me feel a little bad. And not really. But anyway, takeaways. Houzeo, not competitor. But it doesn't promote Houzeo. It's reacting to SEO optimized content. I've often said this chat or AI is really fueled by, SEO. And it says you're seeing search-based noise rather than meaningful industry insight. And here I almost feel like it's being a little too hard on itself, because I do understand the non-traditional thing, why it would include those. Maybe it could have presented it as not the same thing, but an alternative, which I think would have been a better structure for the articles. And then it says, I can build an apples-to-apples comparison and compare you guys to other people who are really like you. And we can do that. But really, I didn't want to go too far down this. I really just wanted to show you guys, what changes, or in this case, when a new version comes out, how different does it answer the same exact question to the prior version? We kind of got a view of that. And I also feel like the 5.0 version was more well-structured, more readable, and gave me some insights about how ChatGPT itself works that I hadn't gotten from prior conversations with prior versions. So that's all I had for today. Just wanted to show you 4.0 versus 5.0. If you're a cool kid, you're moving up to 5.0. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day.